Hello, my name is Zara Nash and I am the Novus Program Manager, and today I am going to talk you through the Novus program and how it can benefit you. So the mission of the Novus program is to help university students bridge the theory between what you're learning in the classroom, but what that means in practice. And you can do that through summer placements, year-long placements, and graduate placements. So when many people think about logistics and the logistics industry, they think of these things. So large lorries on the motorway, enormous warehouses next to the motorway, cargo, container ships, and all those kind of things. And yes, that is logistics, but it is also this. So there are things like humanitarian aid. So you could help the world be a better place by making sure that medical aid gets to the right place at the right time. There are advances in technology. So we've got things like AI. So we have robots that are currently going around warehouses, eliminating human error and making those companies far more efficient. There are already automated vehicles, but companies are looking at how to automate HGV vehicles so that they can drive themselves. There are things like drones. So we can see an example here of a DHL drone, but we've also got robots going around Milton Keynes delivering parcels. And that is all logistics. And it's a really exciting time to be joining logistics companies because there are so many advances in technology. There are also quite nice events that you can go to, so award ceremonies and conferences and networking events. So this is a few examples of Novus students going to those events and receiving awards. So why is it our mission? Well, this is Andy Kay. So he's the chief executive of Viscu, which is a consultancy firm. And he created Novus because with his work with the consultancy firm, he noticed that in the next 10 to 15 years, there is going to be a recruitment gap due to senior managers heading towards retirement. So he established the Novus program in 2012 as a not-for-profit, meaning the money that is generated from our sponsors is put back into the program. The Novus program is governed by the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport, and we want to guarantee our sponsors quality students by making our students go through online assessment centres. What is in it for you as a student? Well, it improves your employability. It develops your links to industry through going to events and networking and the opportunities that are available to you. It demonstrates your commitment to your career and accelerates your development. And the Novus program provides opportunities for real world learning, making you work ready. So if you take advantage of the year-long placements that we have, it means that when you come to be a graduate, you've already got a year's worth of experience set in a professional environment. So what do we offer? So access to summer year-long and graduate roles. Some of those are exclusive to Novus students. That you can opt into professional mentoring. So that's where we would have individuals from our 15 sponsor companies that would want to give back to the younger generation, want to share their experience. They do that via professional mentoring. We have peer mentoring. So I set that up about 2 years ago. So that's where I will match a first year and a second year student if they want a peer mentor to a mentor that is out on placement, is in their final year, or is in their first year of graduating. And that's because it's all well and good me telling you about my amazing placement, but it was 16 years ago. So actually, it will be nice for you to see what someone is experiencing right now whilst they go through their year-long placement. Through the Novus program, you can gain access to guest lectures. There are site visits. So in the summer, I invited all Novus students, as well as the students. I invited their academics. I invited their careers and placements teams to a tour of a sea logistics warehouse in Coventry, which worked with Disney. So we had the morning of meeting the staff, finding out what steps they took to get into industry, what skills they felt match which roles best, what personality types fit best within which roles. And then we had a tour of the warehouse itself. Now, due to my experience of 10 years working with university students and helping making them more employable, I'm now offering CV reviews, application checks, and mock interviews to make the Novus students as employable and as confident as they can be for when they're in front of an employer. As we said, the money that comes from the sponsorship goes back into the program. So within the student's final year in their first year of graduation, I will pay for students to become a member of CILT. So they will be a member of the chartered body. And when they're doing applications for graduate roles, you'll find that a lot of them will say, are you a member of a professional body? Well, Novus gives you the opportunity to say, yes, I'm a member of the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport. These are my start dates and my end dates of my membership. You also get access to CILT events, so I'll invite my students to those. We did things like the Big Logistics Challenge, so that was in the summer of 2023, where I took a few students along to this event. We did quad biking, we did an inflatable assault course, we learned a hacker, we did loads of different things. And it meant that those students could then network with people from across multiple organisations, and there's about 1,000 people attending that event. There are the CILT events. We've got 2 students here attending the West Midlands Chartered Institute. I think that was a networking and pizza event. But we have events that then go on across the academic year. We've got a few students here from Aston and Northumbria and Newcastle that attended our CILT annual conference back in 2023. And on the right hand side, we've got Ryan, who's a Novus student from the University of Derby, and he chaired our CILT conference. Again, I'm not going to make anyone do these events. It's completely up to you. Students opt into them. He volunteered to be a chair. He then went to a panel, and then the panel decided whether he would do it. Last week we had Catherine, so she's a Novus student from the University of Northumbria and Newcastle. And she did our conference and did an amazing job. And it's a great opportunity for these students because they get to get their name out there. They get noticed. They can network with all the people that attended this conference. So it's a fantastic opportunity. So who do we work with? Well, I'm currently working with 12 universities from across the UK. So we've got Aston in Birmingham, Cardiff, Coventry, Derby, Huddersfield, Hull, Keele, Lincoln, Middlesex University in London, Northumbria University in Newcastle, Salford in Manchester, and Sheffield University. To join the programme, you need to be in the first or second year of an undergraduate degree, and you need to study a module of logistics, supply chain operations, or transport or data analytics in your first or second year in order to apply for the Novus programme. And that's just so you've got a bit of a basic understanding of the industry. So who do we work with? Well, I've got 15 sponsors. So I have DHL, which is probably the one that you may have noticed the most. We have Arla and Muller. But if you're not too aware of those brands, then it may be that you are aware of these ones. So we've got Scuda Ferrari, who work with Siva Logistics. So a good way to work with Ferrari, if you like Ferraris, is to go through Siva. Costa Coffee do their logistics through Kuehne and Nagel. IKEA does a lot of their logistics through Wincanton. Formula One does a lot of their logistics through DHL. And in fact, DHL does all the logistics for Formula One races, including taking those vehicles to different locations around the globe. They even have like a flat pack media suite, and they take it to location, pop the walls up, stick a ceiling on it, and then all the recordings are broadcast from that media suite. McDonald's, which I'm sure everyone is aware of, well, Martin Brower does all of the logistics within the UK and Ireland for McDonald's. So we have varied the roles, the universities that we work with, the courses that these students are on. So we want to vary our roles for you as well. I am not going to force students to do a logistics or a supply chain management job. You could do an IT job, you could do finance, you could do sales, but you could do that within a logistics organization. I currently have enough roles for year-long placements and graduate roles for every engaged student. So if you want the roles and you engage with the program, a guaranteed job is there for the taking. So why do I do this job? Well, because I did a year-long placement at Microsoft and it was the best year of my life. I made lifelong friends, and before then I'd only lived with my parents in Dublin or Birmingham. But it was my first time to move away. The opportunity at Microsoft was too amazing to not take up. It was in Reading, so it was an hour and a half from Birmingham. But yeah, an absolutely amazing opportunity, and I'm so glad that I did it. I learned such a sense of responsibility. I learned about housing, how to pay bills, cleaning. There were 7 of us that lived together, so you can imagine the house needed quite a lot of cleaning. Cooking, I didn't learn how to cook, but a lot of my housemates did. Um, I learned about living with housemates. I'd only ever lived with my mom, my dad, my brothers, but then I learned how to live with 6 boys under one roof, which was very interesting. And often I was made mom, which meant I was the one that had to ring the landlords or talk to the estate agents. But yeah, I learned loads about deposits, savings. I saved enough whilst working at Microsoft to then return to Birmingham to finish my final year at Aston, finish my driving lessons and buy myself a car. 3 of the students spent their year saving so that they could travel Asia for the summer before they started back at university for their final year. So they had an amazing time. But I learned things like time management, prioritization skills, practical skills, employability, communication. The list is endless. It helped to link the the theory that I'd learned at university to what that actually meant in a real world scenario. Helped me with job applications. I'd done retail before that, but it meant that I had a year's worth of professional experience working with business to business and business to consumer. Um, Interview experience. So yeah, lots of scenarios that I could talk about within my interviews. For a lot of Novus students, their year-long placements provide them with part-time work throughout their final year. If they impress their employer, then a lot of them are offered part-time work throughout their final year so they can earn whilst they learn. Um, some of the companies will do a fast track onto graduates. So DHL Supply Chain will give all of their year-long placements a fast track onto the Graduate Assessment Centre. DHL Express UK will do a golden ticket. So one of their year-long placement students will be given a golden ticket, which means that they go into final year not having to worry about securing a graduate scheme because they've already got one sorted. Um, and a lot of what we do as well is because we want to make the industry more diverse. We want to get women in, we want to get people from different backgrounds, different abilities, different personality types. We want to make the industry diverse, and we can do that by talking to students and encouraging them to take up roles within a logistics company. So here's an example. We've got Timmy from the University of Huddersfield. He graduated this summer with a logistics and supply chain management degree. Timmy applied in his first year. He wasn't successful. He applied again in his second year and he was successful. And he took advantage of what there was to offer from Novus. So he did a summer placement with our Kuna and Nagel sponsor. He did a year-long placement with Arla. So Arla each year will offer 4 placements to Nova students only. That means that for Arla, they have a lot less applications to look through, but also for our students that are applying for the roles, they have a lot less competition. Timmy also applied for a graduate scheme with a Nova sponsor. So he applied for Martin Brower, which offers 36k. Last year they offered 3 graduate roles, 2 of which went to Nova students, because Nova students just set themselves apart from the rest, which is amazing. So his thoughts on the Novus program were that it really significantly contributed to his personal and professional growth. He enjoyed the professional mentoring aspect of it. He felt like his mentor was invested in his success. He enjoyed the exclusive roles. Each week, I will email my Nova students with a list of these are the roles that we've got. These are the locations, the salaries, the deadlines. Please apply. Let me know. I'll then confirm your Nova status with the employer. But it meant that Timmy then wasn't having to focus on his final year and look online to find roles because he knew that each week I would be dropping them into his inbox. But he said it's really helped him develop his both professionally and it's instilled his confidence in his own abilities to prepare him for his future challenges. And here's an example of James from the University of Lincoln. So he signed up to the professional mentoring that Novus had to offer. I matched him with Ben Quinlan. They've met a few times in person. Ben has invited him to a behind the scenes tour of Heathrow because DHL has a large contract with Heathrow Airport. Ben then also invited James and another Novus student along to a prison where DHL has another contract. So what does Novus peer mentoring look like? Well, we've got Isabel and Monsi here. I matched these two together when Isabel was in her first year at Aston studying logistics and supply chain management. Monsi was on her year-long placement with GE, General Electric, also studying at Aston University and also studying logistics and supply chain management. So it meant that Isabella could ask questions about the industry, about the university, about what to expect from a year-long placement. And it was wonderful because they'd had multiple Teams meetings whilst Monsi was on placement. Monsi then returned back to Birmingham to Aston University, and I'd invited both of them to this CILT event, and it was the first time that they'd met in person. So it was great for all of us involved. So what's the process? Well, I will come and pitch to you in person, but if there's not an opportunity to pitch to you in person, then you can watch this video. And if you are interested in the Novus program, then you drop me an email. So it's zara.nash@cilt.org.uk. You complete a brief registration form, submit a CV. You are invited to an online assessment centre, which was created with Novus and Wincanton, because we want the assessment centre to reflect what you will be getting asked to do in real life for a real employer. There is a presentation. You'll be given the title of that in advance so you can prepare your presentation. There is a competency-based interview, an intro exercise and a group exercise. Now, pass or fail, I will give every student detailed feedback. If you are a first year student, you can reapply in your second year. For students to apply, you must get 60% in each year of university and you must successfully complete a year-long placement. Doesn't have to be with a Novus sponsor. It's brilliant if it is with a Novus sponsor, but it doesn't have to be. But you have to get the 60% and a year-long placement to stay on the programme. I have created a YouTube video on how to ace your Novus Assessment Centre, so you can check that out as well. So you are going to need a CV. So again, I created another YouTube video to help you with CVs, but you've got an example there of some images of what CVs do look like. So you'd be looking at a maximum of 2 pages, stick your name at the top, put it in a big font, put your address. If you don't want to put your house number, you don't have to, but make sure you put your postcode. Your personal profile, it can be short, just do 3 lines. What are you doing? What do you want to do? Why do you think you'd be good at it? Education, put it in reverse chronological order. So your university, your A levels, your GCSEs. Experience, again, reverse chronological. Your current job to your least current job. If you don't have a job, which is completely understandable, write a bit in your skills, achievements, volunteering, interests, and hobbies. Make more of that section. If you like raising money for a charity, which charity? How much money have you raised? If you like hiking, where's your favorite place to hike? If you like reading, who is your favorite author and what's your favorite genre? References, put a reference from university, maybe one from college or work experience. Do's and don'ts. We would expect that you'd have professional behavior. So when you're emailing, you can even add an email signature. So it will state your name, your year of study, the course that you're on, the university that you're at, just so that when you're emailing me or you're emailing an employer, we can see that information very quickly. Use a consistent email. University emails will time out at some point after you graduate, so you might be better off using a personal email address. Make sure that the email address and the name of it is professional. So john.smith@gmail.com. Track your progress. Use an Excel spreadsheet. What have you applied for? What's the company? What's the salary? What's the location? What's the deadline? What is your status? Did you get rejected before interview? Have you got an interview? When the interview is? Track it so you know exactly what you're doing and when you're doing it. Prepare. So use the STAR technique to prepare potential answers for interviews. Fully read every email. I have had multiple students turn up to Novus Assessment Centre saying, I've not prepared a presentation. I didn't realise I was supposed to. It's in the email, so make sure you read every email twice. Plan your journey. If it's face-to-face, plan to get there an hour, half an hour before, just so if there's traffic, you're not stuck in it. Tech test. If it's offered, take one. Practice makes perfect. Practice. Practice mock interviews and practice them with people that will tell you what you need to hear rather than what you want to hear. If you're doing an online interview, make sure you've got a nice background, make sure it is clear, make sure it is tidy. Put a background on it if you need to, like I've got one here with the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport. Have good Wi-Fi connection, try to reduce noise. If you have to stick a post-it on your door so that your family or your housemates know that you've got an interview in an assessment centre, then do it. If you've got an interview and it's face-to-face, dress smart and always put your phone on silent. Expectations, let me know and let your careers team know if you have secured a job. The opportunity is more important than the location. I'd never lived away from my parents before, but moving an hour and a half away to Reading to work at Microsoft was an opportunity I couldn't say no to. If you're learning to drive, try and pass as soon as possible. Not every role will be Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. So go into things with a bit of flexibility. Interview expenses might not be paid. If that is the case and you can't afford to go to an interview, let your careers team know. Let me know, because I would much rather pay for your train ticket to get to an interview, rather than you not being able to go and letting yourself down and letting the employer down. Take the help that's offered, whether that is via me or is through your university, but take the help. How to keep up to date? I have a LinkedIn page. I've got Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. So have a look on those to find out more about Novus. Check your emails. If you don't really check your university emails that much, set up a divert so it can go from your university email to your personal email so you're not missing any emails. As I work for the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport, just a bit of information about what we do. So we have CILT student membership. This includes access to the Knowledge Centre and Information Service. So the Knowledge Centre is the largest physical and online logistics library in the whole of Europe. You can get discounts through CILT Advantage. There's professional mentoring, careers portals, free access to events, free access to networking groups, and it is £44 per year. As I mentioned, in your final year and your first year of graduation as a Novus student, I would pay that money for you. And here's an example of Montserrat. So Montserrat is an international student, and because she's international, she wanted to build a network within the UK. So she signed up to have CILT membership throughout her degree. It really helped in terms of going to networking events. She got allocated a professional mentor. It expanded her network, developed her professional profile. When asked when she would tend to use it, she said when she was doing something new, or maybe she had an essay to write and she wanted to know the best book to relate to that essay, then she would contact the Knowledge Centre. What made you want to repeat the subscription? She said mainly for the networking events because they opened so many doors for her professionally. So CILT student membership will cost you £44 as a student, 88 as a graduate, but you can see if you're not a student, you're paying 154 for all of the same resources. So it's a much reduced cost for our students. That is a quick overview of the Novus programme. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop me an email at zara.nash@ciltuk.org.uk, and I will be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.